Hi everybody, welcome to 1102. I should change that on your syllabus. 1102 for the summer session of 1102. Not that that'll be really necessarily much different from any other session. Since you have a 12-week session, it's a little bit less stressful than those of you who might be taking a 6-week class. But summer 2012, 1102. All right, I just wanted to sort of briefly go over the Blackboard site and some really important policies that are contained in the syllabus. Let me first say that it's your responsibility to read and understand the syllabus, as well as to take a quiz on the policies that are contained within it. It's your responsibility to make sure that you understand them. It's your responsibility to make sure that you know how I'm going to run the class as the class begins. Don't assume that you know. Don't assume that you can do certain things. You need to make sure that you're thoroughly reading everything and that you are clear about what the policies are. So let's head over to the Blackboard site, which you've already found because you've already found this lecture. And when you find it, there will be an announcement here. I just wanted to sort of briefly go over some of the areas that you're going to need to become familiar with. The first one is the most important one, which is the course information link. That contains the link to all of the course materials for the entire semester. Every week has its own folder. Those folders are labeled with the date. The weeks begin on Monday, so because our semester began on Monday, that began on May 14th, and so week 1 goes from May 14th to May 20th at 11:59 p.m. Everything is due Sunday night at 11:59 p.m., but you're welcome to turn it in earlier. I personally don't work on Sundays, so if you're like me and don't want to do that, you're welcome to turn in anything early. We'll get to late work in a minute, but anything can be turned in early with the exception of quizzes, but they'll be open for the whole week, so you're welcome to work at on whatever day works best for you. All right, so if you click on week 1, you will see the syllabus, and then you will see 4 calendars which have all of the due dates listed, in addition to what you'll see in a minute, which is the course schedule, which also has all of the due dates. You'll see a few handouts, and you'll see a close reading lecture that you also need to watch. Obviously, once I'm done with this lecture, that will be posted there as well. Just a quick note, I have the paper 1 assignment sheet here for you to read. You are not responsible for writing paper 1, the first major paper, in the first week of class. I get a lot of people who misunderstand this. It's listed in the readings, not in the assignments, for a reason. And so it's not due this week. It's important for you to know that. So I've put that there in very bold letters, so hopefully you'll get that. All right, so you'll see that as you go along throughout the semester. Every week has different things in it. I just apparently happened to click on the ones that have the most in each one, but a lot of times there will only be 1 or 2 things, maybe a quiz, maybe a discussion board, prompt, whatever. Speaking of the discussion board, in addition to the course information page, you also need to become familiar with the discussion board. You have 5 discussion board assignments over the course of the semester. All of them are posted already. That's another thing that you can do early, and another thing that you can sort of get out of the way once you have done the readings for which they're associated. All right, that's basically Blackboard. Let's head over to the syllabus. If you want to click along with me and download it and look at it as I'm talking, that's fine. Otherwise, again, it's your responsibility to read all of it. I'm not going to go over all of it in detail, but I just wanted to go over a couple of things. The first is that the prerequisite for 1102 is the successful completion of 1101. So to me, what that means is that I'm going to be assuming that in the course of successfully completing 1101, you have discussed MLA citation, you know how to research using the library databases, and you understand argumentative structure. If you don't feel like you have a good grasp on those things, I will be posting a few things, depending on need, about argumentative structure, probably in week 2 or 3, but you need to brush up on MLA citation on your own, and you most definitely need to brush up on how the library databases work on your own. You can retake the library training, which was required for 1101, and you can look at a multitude of online sites that will help you understand MLA citation. It's not acceptable to come to me and say, I don't know how to use MLA citation. If you've taken 1101, you should know how to use MLA citation, and it's not acceptable for you to say, I don't understand the library databases, or I don't know how to access them, because you should have had library training. So I'm just putting that out there. I'm assuming that you know how to do that. And if you don't know how to do that, it's your responsibility to learn how. All right. All of this is just sort of basic course information, what we'll be doing, lots of institutional policies for Florida Gateway, and then you have come to my specific instructor policies. First rule is that this is an online class. I'm not going to hunt you down. I'm not going to remind you about due dates. I'm not your mom. I'm the mom of somebody else, and soon to be 2 other people. So I am not going to be your mom. I'm not going to hover. I'm not going to remind you, oh, did you turn in your paper, or hunt you down when you didn't. I'm going to assume that you're adult people, and if you choose not to submit something, then that's ultimately your choice. But I do have a few things that I wanted to go over to make sure that everyone is on the same page. The first one is, how do you contact me? The primary way that you're going to contact me is via email. I do have online office hours using Skype, and I'm happy to do an online office hour with you because everyone's schedule is a little bit wacky during the summer. Those are by appointment, so you'll just email me and we'll come up with an appointment. Please feel free to do that. I will try to accommodate your schedule. I have my own crazy schedule, so I'll try to do that in a time that works best. A lot of times it's late evenings that work best for me, but really just because I have a family. But we will try to find a time that works best for all of us. When you email, it's important that your name and your section number is in your email, simply because I have lots of students and they're all emailing me, and it helps me to answer your question in a more effective way if I know who you are and what class you are talking about. Here's what you'll be graded on and the points breakdown. We talked about how you access course assignments, the course information section of Blackboard. How do you know when your assignments are due? The course calendars that I mentioned when I showed you Blackboard, and also at the end of this syllabus is a course schedule, which we'll get to in a minute. How do you turn in your work to me? You turn everything in on Blackboard. So either the discussion board or the assignment links. So when you pull up one of those weekly folders, you'll see a link that is live for an assignment that's due that week. So it might be a short response, it might be the paper, it might be a quiz. You click on that link. Those links are time sensitive. So once the due date has passed, which is Sunday of that week, Sunday at 11:59, those links will go away. So if you don't see a link on there and the due date has not changed, then you have missed that assignment. As I mentioned earlier, with the exception of quizzes, you're welcome to work ahead. Every assignment link that's just an assignment, so a short response or a paper assignment link, are all open now. The only things that are not open are quizzes, and those quizzes are required to be taken during the week that they're assigned, mostly because you have a lot of reading that you have to do in order to answer the questions on those quizzes, and you won't be able to do them ahead unless you have just read all of your assignments ahead, which I sincerely doubt. All right, probably the most important policy for you to understand, late work. I don't accept late work. Not without prior approval, okay? In practice, that usually means I don't accept late work at all. But if you're hoping to get some kind of extension or late submission because something catastrophic has happened in your life, you are required to contact me before the due date. Because normally if something has happened to prevent you from writing a paper or from submitting a quiz or from doing something, then you know that ahead of the due date. It's your responsibility to find a way to contact me via email in order to communicate that to me before the due date. That means before Sunday at 11:59. Your email has to be date and time stamped with a time that is before that in order for me to consider this requirement fulfilled. I don't have to have responded to you though. So you could email me at 11:30, tell me that your computer blew up and you're emailing from your phone in the parking lot of Starbucks because you needed Wi-Fi. That's fine, okay? if the date is passed and you have not emailed me and you try to email me work, I will delete it. Okay, if I haven't heard from you, we haven't discussed it, and you haven't done that work before the due date, sorry, you lost your shot, okay? I'm really serious about this, and I'm not going to bend. So it's really important for you to understand the policy. You're responsible for turning in work on time, and you're responsible for maintaining an understanding of the due dates and for working in a responsible manner in order to get your work done. It's not my responsibility if technological difficulties come along. However, it's understandable, but only if you contact me before the due date, okay? All right, lots of other policies here. How do we know if our work has been graded? I explained that. What should I do if I need help? And here is the course schedule, okay? So every week is broken down into readings and assignments, and you'll notice that you have far more readings than you do assignments, and that's for some weeks anyway, and that's normal. And that's because each one of them is individual work. So as we're in poetry, it's a long list of poems that I'm asking you to read for each week. All right. Basically, that's the rundown. That's the gist, the basics. That should get you started. For your first week, you are responsible for quite a bit of reading, as well as the syllabus and policies quiz. So the most important thing that you can read and understand is the syllabus, understand the policies, understand how Blackboard works, and understand where we're going from here and how the course is going to work. All right, if you have questions, let me know. Email me. If you have concerns, email me. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Hope it's going to be a great semester, and hope that you learn a lot, both about literature and writing.